Friends, we're getting closer to the start of hurricane season. What is going on right now and what the rest of April could bring? And of course, I've got your forecast across the Caribbean and the Bahamas for you right now.
This is Meteo Mundo.
Hi everyone, Rusty back here at Meteo Mundo. It is Tuesday, April the 2nd. I hope you're having a great day. Coming up, we're going to talk about, as we get closer to hurricane season, what could be happening as we move into April and kind of some of the things that I expect in our area for the rest of the month. We'll talk about where we're seeing some heavier rain right now as well. So the first thing I want to say is sorry for not making a video yesterday. Spent some time upgrading some of the hardware, some of the back end things here at Meteo Mundo as we get closer to hurricane season, because as we do, of course, we're going to be doing more videos. We're going to be doing a lot more live streams. We're going to be tracking tropical systems live for you. We've got our 24/7 stream. And of course, I live in Florida. I see all the thunderstorms you guys see beginning this time of the year. And we wanted to make some improvements to make sure that we don't have any power issues as we get closer to hurricane season, and some of those upgrades just took a little bit longer than I expected yesterday, so I apologize for that. I will say I just got done recording this video and I did not have my microphone on because some of the changes I made yesterday. So how about a like for having to do this a second time? But I got you covered. So the first thing I want to do in this video is kind of give you my thoughts on what I expect for the rest of April in regards to what's happening as we get closer to hurricane season. I did make a video about a month ago when we were 100 days away from the start of the official hurricane season on June the 1st. In that video, if you remember, we're transitioning from an El Nino pattern to a La Nina pattern. And La Nina is when we see cooler waters developing off the west coast of South America. And you think, well, how does that impact the Atlantic and the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico? Well, of course, atmospheric patterns, they're global. And eventually what happens is, as these water temperatures cool in the the western side of South America, it actually promotes less wind shear in our area. And less wind shear doesn't rip apart these storms as they try to develop. And typically speaking, that can be more conducive to tropical activity. Also, sea surface temperatures are outrageous right now. These are your current sea surface temperatures as of today. Even from last month, I see a lot more orange and red and even brown on that map. Those are sea surface temperatures in the Caribbean and the Western Atlantic that are in the upper 20s Celsius in some areas like just south of Barbados and east of Trinidad and Tobago and along portions of the Honduras and Nicaragua and Panama and Costa Rica coastlines and even the western side of Jamaica, sea surface temperatures nearly at 30 degrees Celsius. Some outrageously warm sea surface temperatures. Those would be more typical of midsummer, mid-July, to be more specific. So look, we're going to get less wind shear. We have ocean temperatures that would support tropical development. Obviously, this is like one ingredient in the, cyclone soup, if you will, and we need all of these to come together. One of the other things, of course, is getting more moisture in the atmosphere. Now, at this point in time, that is one of the things that's lacking. The air, relatively speaking, across our area is still dry. We're seeing some moisture begin to return. And look, as the wind shear relaxes and more moisture develops and we start to get more spin or vorticity in the atmosphere, that's when we'll start to kind of keep a closer eye on whether we start to support any tropical development. I don't see anything in at least the next couple of weeks, but I do want to show you, and I think this is a great product here to kind of show you what happens. Let me switch over to this product here. This is what we call absolute vorticity. It's basically the spin in the atmosphere, okay? And I'm going to let this run until the mid part of the month. Now, again, there's nothing that shows any signs of development through at least mid to late April, all right? But as we get closer to May and all those ingredients become a little bit more prominent, that's when we'll really start to focus in on things. But even this early in the season, look at this spin that our vorticity model is showing. Now, it's in the middle of the Atlantic. As we come up on the 15th here, you're going to see it. Look at this little spin up right there. Look at that. Heads back north after this, shows no signs of active development. But, you're looking at some kind of potential subtropical system developing off of the mid latitudes. It's very early in the season, but just to even see this on the models in mid-April is just a sign that hurricane season could get active early. not more than likely in April, maybe as we get into May, as we warm things up elsewhere. I am seeing a little bit of spin coming off of the South American coastline, and one of the other areas, and one of the other origin areas, if you will, for early development is the southwest Gulf of Mexico, the Bay of Campeche. Last year was the first time in 6 years we hadn't had a tropical system develop in May, but this is always one of the breeding grounds that I watch out for early in the season as well. So let's kind of break down what my thoughts are for the rest of April, and kind of as we get into a little bit more of the meat of hurricane season. First of all, I think the season could start early, and that would more than likely be in May, and it could end late. Again, all signs point to an active season, an above average number of named storms, an above average number of hurricanes, a lot of rapid intensification when you're talking about low wind shear, very high sea surface temperatures as well. And I have noted that based on everything I've seen towards the end of April, I think there's about a 10% chance of a late April subtropical or tropical cyclone, meaning it could be a depression or a tropical storm, either subtropical or tropical. Basically, the chance is low, but it's also not zero. More than likely, we're going to get through April unscathed with no issues. But it shows you that we're maybe less than a month away from really having to start to pay daily attention to what's happening out there. Now, of course, I do that every day to begin with, but at least in the short term here, through the rest of April, we'll be talking more about these localized showers and storms. And let's get into that part of the forecast right now. And so as we do so, thank you so much for liking these videos. If you want to make sure you get these latest updates across the Caribbean and the Bahamas, hit the subscribe button right now. On this Tuesday, here's what's going down. Let me first of all throw on some temperatures, and then we'll talk about where I've seen some rain, and that's going to be in portions of the Windward Islands, from Barbados to Grenada and Trinidad and Tobago. Your live temperatures, notice that it's down to 77 in Trinidad. It's not because a cold front came through. Thicker clouds and some showers have moved through places like Port of Spain, Tobago, up towards Barbados, Bridgetown and Spanish-Town. Spacetown, excuse me, certainly have had some thicker clouds and some showers. As a matter of fact, portions of Barbados could actually see some heavier rainfall today, at least in pockets. If you live in these areas, let me know what's happening, but we have seen some moisture return to these areas. Portions of St. Vincent and the Grenadines could see some showers as well. More moisture coming back over Guadeloupe. We could see some showers for Guadeloupe and Dominica. Looks like it's going to stay just south of the Antigua and St. Kitts and Nevis area. Now, this moisture, if you follow it to its origins, is coming off of the coast of South America, and we've had some passing clouds and at least a few showers and breezy conditions for places like Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao, where temperatures there are holding right now in the mid and the upper 80s. So moisture streaming into these areas have spelled some showers on this Tuesday afternoon. Earlier in the day, we did have some rain move across the U.S. and British Virgin Islands, and portions of the eastern sides of Puerto Rico were dry at this point in time. I'm going to switch on over to our visible satellite imagery, and you can see that we had some of those thicker white clouds move across from east to west right there, and there were some showers there along the immediate coastline of Puerto Rico. We've had a few showers develop through portions of the Dominican Republic. You can see Punta Cana, 84 degrees, still mainly dry in Santiago de los Caballeros. Temperatures near Santo Domingo are in the upper 80s with a few showers in that area. My friends in Jamaica, haven't seen a lot of rain for you today. We'll see if we can get a couple of showers, mainly on the eastern side of the island. If you catch a little bit of rain, let me know in the comment section below. But unfortunately for Jamaica, I don't expect a lot of rain over the next 5 days. We'll show you that 5-day forecast coming up. We'll take a look here. But Kingston, 88, it's steamy out there, 85 in Montego Bay. And again, a limited opportunity for a few showers here the next several days. It's going to get hot. It's going to get steamy again across the island. One area that has been extremely hot the last couple of days is Belize. San Ignacio up to 97, but I fear that that sensor is a little bit farther away from some of the hotter areas of the city. And more than likely, the city proper will get into the low triple digits. Even Belize City is at 91. It's going to be hot again on Wednesday for San Ignacio and other inland locations. And then we have some cooler changes on the way. Beautiful weather in Cancun and Cozumel, but I have some rain coming into that area. And it's been a lovely day in the Bahamas as well. Freeport and Nassau have just snuck into the lower 80s, but stormy weather will be moving into the Bahamas over the next 48 hours, and we'll take a look at that coming up. So let's get into the rain. And I'm going to switch the model back to our 5-day time frame. And again, as I do so, if you have a specific question about the forecast, anything I've discussed, please drop it in the comments section below. I'm absolutely happy to answer that for you here. And again, just really getting Meteo Mundo prepared for what we expect to be coming here as we get a little bit closer to May and June. So let's break down what I expect over the next 5 days. And I'm going to start with our friends in the Lesser Antilles. Now, again, I mentioned in the last video, we're picking up more of our easterlies. They're back in the forecast. They've been a little bit variable lately, but now we're going to have these easterlies trying to return some moisture to the islands. Now, look, it doesn't mean we're going to get a lot of rain. It doesn't mean that we're going to get, consecutive days of rain in many locations. But what it does mean is that there's just more moisture to at least squeeze out the opportunity for some spotty rain. And we can see that. Again, this is the model as we go into the later afternoon and the evening hours of this Tuesday and into Wednesday morning. And there could still be a few showers around for Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados as well. And then it's just very spotty in nature after that. 20% chance for showers kind of every day. And we just continue to throw some moisture into the atmosphere with those easterly winds. But I think the best concentration of rain for the Windward Islands is later today and tomorrow, and then a little bit drier as we get towards the weekend. For my friends in the Lesser Antilles and anywhere from Dominica North, Antigua, Barbuda, Anguilla, scattered light rain, many dry hours in locations, not a huge deal, not a lot of rain on the board for you over the next couple of days. I'll be monitoring the surf and sea conditions. We've had from time to time some high surf advisories for portions of the Leeward Islands, especially on the north-facing shoreline, rip current statements for Puerto Rico and portions of the Virgin Islands as well. So I'll be monitoring that. It's been kind of intermittent, kind of hit or miss when those have been issued, but certainly could see some of that again. Now, as far as rain chances go, maybe some spotty showers here trying to develop again in the evening and overnight hours, and a couple of pockets of rain, maybe with the heat of the day. A little bit better chance for some showers here over the islands as we get into our Saturday. And that will also be true for Hispaniola and especially the Dominican Republic. We've had a few light showers pass the island today, maybe a spotty shower or two tomorrow. Then I expect us to be mainly dry Thursday and Friday. But then as we get into Saturday, look at that nice little blow up of moisture returning back to the area. So for Santo Domingo and Punta Cana and Puerto Plata, all with higher rain chances to kick off the weekend. There's Saturday afternoon, and we could have some widespread, potentially heavier rain, and I promise I'll be monitoring that for you. Now over to Jamaica. Again, for my friends there in Maypen and Mandeville and Kingston, Portmore and Spanish Town, again, a couple of showers trying to drift on the eastern side of the island on this Tuesday afternoon, but it's really light in nature. And I'm letting this model run out over the next 5 days. I don't see a lot of rain. Again, a limited opportunity will be there, but generally speaking, you should not be surprised if you don't get any showers over the next 5 days. It does mean it's going to be pretty steamy. Upper 80s to near 90 degrees, upper 20s to 30 degrees Celsius, and even higher in a couple of spots, and feels like temperatures that could be knocking on the door of 100 degrees. And we're here in early April. So hotter weather there, not a lot in the way of shower chances, unfortunately. Why are we going to get cooler in Belize starting on Thursday? It's simply because that cold front coming out of the United States Southeast will be able to work its way all the way through the Yucatan and into portions of Central America. You can see that rain coming in there. So for Belize City and San Ignacio, showers will begin to move into the forecast on Thursday. So we'll see maybe a couple of showers trying to sneak in late tomorrow, but generally speaking, Thursday, this is Thursday morning. You can see those showers beginning to pass by, and they'll at least have a chance for some rain through Friday as well before beginning to dry out a bit for the weekend. But this will help to drop temperatures relatively significantly. We will not be in the triple digits, and we'll more than likely see some 80s along the coast. Now, if you have plans in Cancun and Cozumel, you are going to be impacted with some rain in the same time frame, late Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Progressive enough system, be moving fast enough. It's not going to linger too long. By late Thursday, the rain moves away, and we start to see some of that drift into the Cayman Islands as well, Georgetown in Weston. It's breaking apart as it moves south into the east, and again, that's one reason why it doesn't really even make Jamaica, so the rain chances are even pretty low for the Cayman Islands, even though the rain chances are much higher in Cancun, kind of traversing the Northwest Caribbean. That rain does fall apart. Now, one area that could be fairly wet and stormy as we get into late Wednesday and Thursday is going to be, my friends, in the Northwest Bahamas with our next cold front coming in. Let me switch over here to the HER model, and we'll do this one over the next 48 hours. So I'm going to make a few adjustments on that, and then we'll time this out. First of all, I can tell you for me, it's going to get wet and stormy for tomorrow, so it might get to test the old hardening of the hardware here behind the scenes. Probably going to be some electric storms moving through, but eventually what you're going to see here as the model picks up some steam, I hope. Let me make sure that I actually have the reflectivity on. There we go. I had it on if there was snow, so that's no good. All right, now let me loop it again, and we should actually start to see some of this move in. So here it comes. It'll begin to move in late on Wednesday and into early on Thursday. I think we might be right in the middle of a new update cycle. This model updates every hour, and I might have literally caught it at the beginning of its new run. Let's see here. It's going to try and get all the way into Thursday. You know, in the video I just recorded, I didn't have my microphone on. The model went all the way into Thursday morning. Let's see here. I don't want to have to back it up. All right, it's slowly picking up. This is not as smooth as it was last time, but that's fine. So what's the point? For Walker's Key and Grand Bahama, late tomorrow night, but probably just after midnight, a line of showers and storms move in. Now, I'm not too concerned about any severe weather. A stronger thunderstorm is possible, but more than likely, this is just going to be some heavy rain, some gusty winds, and some lightning. Now, the wind's going to pick up out of the south tomorrow. It'll be even steamier Wednesday ahead, and then these showers and storms will be moving across the Northwest Bahamas through the remainder of Thursday morning, and then as we get into the afternoon hours. Some of this will try and work its way at least into the central Bahamas, and this rain, as it moves south and east, will fade away a bit. So, look, I don't expect a lot of heavier rain. I don't expect there to be any true concerns out of this, but again, it does get somewhat wet and stormy for Thursday, so boaters want to be aware of that. Perhaps a couple of rounds of some scattered showers and some storms, some wind-driven rain moving in throughout the day on Thursday, and again, trying to clear up late on Thursday, and then especially as we get into Friday. So Grand Bahama is one of those areas that is going to see some kind of changes in the weather over the next 5 days in regards to temperatures and rain. First of all, it's a beautiful the remainder of Tuesday. Be very windy at times tomorrow, getting up to 85. Then the storms arrive in the wee hours of Thursday through at least midday Thursday, trying to clear up after that. 60% chance, 79 the daytime high, and we have a north wind coming in behind the rain. 74 as we clear out on Friday in a beautiful but cool Saturday afternoon with a high there from my friends in Freeport and Lucaya and High Rock and West End of right around 75. Friends, you can follow us through a lot of social media. I appreciate that. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on TikTok, X, Facebook. You have a picture or video, MyMediaMundo @gmail.com. Again, thank you for liking these videos. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. I'll be watching for the rain for my friends in the Lesser Antilles, Barbados, and Trinidad and Tobago. Here comes our next storm system out of the southeast. And of course, the eagle eye on the tropics as we move through April. You know I got you covered. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. I will see you tomorrow right here at Meteo Mundo.